The year is 1991. The world is still reeling from the rapid and intense events that have unfolded over the past few months. The Gulf War, a resounding military triumph for the United States and its allies, has just concluded. The coalition forces, led by the US, have achieved a swift and decisive victory. Saddam Hussein's forces are routed, ejected from Kuwait, and reeling from a devastating aerial bombardment. The Iraqi military, once seen as a formidable force, is now in disarray. A euphoric mood grips Washington. The American public and politicians alike are celebrating what is perceived as a clear and unambiguous victory. However, President George H.W. Bush faces a critical decision. The victory, while significant, has left him at a crossroads. Should he heed the calls for restraint, accepting Saddam's defeat and allowing him to remain in power? This option would mean avoiding further entanglement in the region. Or should he seize the opportunity to topple the dictator, venturing into the uncharted territory of post-war Iraq? The decision is fraught with potential risks and rewards. Bush, haunted by the specter of Vietnam and wary of an open-ended commitment in the Middle East, ultimately chooses the former. The memories of the Vietnam War, with its prolonged conflict and high casualties, weigh heavily on his mind. He orders a halt to the Allied advance, leaving Saddam weakened but still in control. This decision is seen as a cautious and measured approach, avoiding the uncertainties of a full-scale invasion. But what if Bush had made a different choice? What if the allure of a complete victory had driven him to push further? What if, emboldened by victory and driven by a desire to finish the job, he had decided to march on Baghdad and remove Saddam from power? The implications of such a decision are vast and complex. The potential consequences of such a decision are profound, with far-reaching implications for the Middle East and the world. The region's political landscape could have been dramatically altered. This essay will explore this hypothetical scenario, delving into the myriad possibilities and outcomes that could have arisen from a different choice. Examining the potential military, political, and social ramifications of a US-led invasion of Iraq in 1991. The challenges of nation-building and the potential for prolonged conflict would be significant factors to consider. The path not taken, the road to Baghdad, holds the answers to questions that continue to shape the region's destiny decades later. The hypothetical scenario offers a lens through which we can examine the complexities of international decision-making. It is important to note that this is a hypothetical exploration. The actual events of 1991 saw a different outcome, one that has had its own set of consequences. The actual events of 1991 saw the US and its allies liberate Kuwait, but stop short of regime change in Iraq. This decision has been the subject of much debate and analysis over the years. However, by imagining a different course of action, we can gain valuable insights into the complexities of international relations, the delicate balance of power, and the intricate web of alliances and enmities that define global politics. The unforeseen consequences of military intervention and the potential for unintended outcomes that can arise from even the most well-intentioned actions, and the enduring legacy of the First Gulf War. The decisions made in the aftermath of the conflict continue to resonate, influencing policy and shaping the geopolitical landscape to this day. With the decision made, the US military machine, already in motion, shifted its focus from liberation to conquest. The initial goal of freeing Kuwait from Iraqi occupation was now overshadowed by a broader ambition: to dismantle Saddam Hussein's regime and reshape the political landscape of the Middle East. The ground offensive, initially aimed at expelling Iraqi forces from Kuwait, quickly evolved into a full-scale invasion of Iraq. The coalition forces, led by the United States, were determined to push forward, undeterred by the challenges that lay ahead. This transformation into a relentless drive towards Baghdad was marked by a series of rapid and decisive military maneuvers. The coalition forces advanced with precision, overcoming obstacles and resistance with overwhelming firepower and strategic planning. The demoralized and ill-equipped Iraqi army, pounded by weeks of airstrikes, put up little resistance. The relentless bombardment had taken its toll, leaving the Iraqi forces in disarray and unable to mount a significant defense against the advancing coalition troops. Within weeks, American tanks rolled through the streets of the Iraqi capital, greeted by a mix of apprehension and cautious celebration. The sight of foreign troops in Baghdad was both a symbol of liberation and a harbinger of the uncertainties that lay ahead for the Iraqi people. Saddam Hussein, his regime crumbling around him, was captured and deposed, marking the end of his brutal rule. His fall was swift and dramatic, a testament to the overwhelming force and determination of the coalition forces. The speed and decisiveness of the victory took many by surprise. The coalition's ability to topple Saddam's regime in such a short time was seen as a remarkable military achievement, but it also raised questions about the future stability of Iraq. The swift collapse of Saddam's regime, however, masked deeper challenges that would soon surface. The destruction left in the wake of the invasion was extensive, and the task of rebuilding the nation was daunting. The country, long subjected to Saddam's iron-fisted rule, lacked any semblance of civil society or democratic institutions. The power vacuum left by his removal created an environment ripe for chaos and conflict. Ethnic and sectarian tensions, suppressed under Saddam, began to simmer as different groups vied for power in the vacuum left by his demise. The fragile peace was shattered as old rivalries and new ambitions came to the fore. The euphoria of liberation quickly gave way to the daunting realities of occupation. The initial joy of freedom was overshadowed by the daily struggles and uncertainties faced by the Iraqi people. The US, having toppled a dictator, now faced the daunting task of rebuilding a nation. This involved not only restoring infrastructure, but also fostering a sense of unity and purpose among a divided populace. It was a task that would require not just military might, but also political acumen, economic resources, and a deep understanding of Iraqi society. Resources that, as history would show, were in short supply. The challenges of nation-building in Iraq would prove to be far more complex and enduring than the swift military victory that preceded them.